Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Accountants Are Sexy Change My Mind. This sexy man sitting with me is not an accountant, but he is very precious to me and has come on my Uprising program. He was one of the best speakers of the whole event. He's got the best feedback, and the message that he has to say, well, it's bloody well worth listening to. So I would love to introduce you to Gordon Frew, and if you don't know him, get to know him. Gordon from Decision Day, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to a wee blether over the next half hour or so.
That's just a wee chit chat. No, don't do your Scottish accent, Kelly. Don't do it. I am just before we carry on, and this is completely personal, non-business related whatsoever, but my husband's family are up in Scotland, and whenever I go up into Scotland, and I'm from London, so this really shouldn't happen, I just put on a Scottish accent and it gets embarrassing and he keeps telling me off.
Brilliant.
Right, without further ado though, Decision Day. Now, I've been on your Decision Day.
Yes.
I have, and I found it amazing. It was so amazing, in fact, that I spoke about it and my mum went on it.
That's right, Mrs. D. Mrs. D was on.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, she had her operation today. She's just out. So for anyone listening, please wish her all the best.
Oh, fantastic.
But tell me, where did Decision Day come from? Or tell me a bit about yourself and where did Decision Day come from?
Oh, a bit about myself. Half an hour.
Oh, me.
Bit of myself that would let people know about. Well, I left school with not many qualifications. Went into a factory. It was one of those ones when you left in my area. The school gates opened and the factory gates opened, and you just crossed the road if you didn't have much qualifications. School A, B's, and C's didn't mean much to me. Grades, but once I was working, the more effort I put in, a wee step up here, a wee step up there, your wages became more of a thing. Not that money's my god, but it made more sense to me as a young man, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for almost 10 years. I was the youngest ever this, the youngest ever that, getting sent around Europe for training and stuff like that. So I was doing quite well. But I call it the fucking. The fucking was never far away. So I signed the missus for my new house on a Tuesday and get made redundant on the Friday.
Wow.
And it was like, oh, no, did you see that one coming? So then end up getting into family business. That was supposed to be a stopgap. That was like 18, 19 years of a stopgap.
You're obviously not old enough for this, Gordon.
Listen, I'm 48 in a couple of weeks, actually. So, but I suppose where our paths start crossing is when I turned 40, I looked in the mirror and I thought, fuck, that's only going one way. I put on a fair bit of weight. I lost just under 5 stone, just doing my thing.
Yeah.
I was never going to diet. I was never going to count things and points and sins and calories and whatever the latest fad was. And I lost just under 5 stone. And then there's a kind of accidental thing through all my stuff that I was in my friend's house one morning. His wife said to him, I'm going to weigh in at Slimming World. You'll need to watch the kids. And he said, I'll weigh you for a $5. I kind of went, what? And we were kind of laughing, but we laughed. She didn't. Is that what he means? That she just goes. It's a fight for a couple of pounds here and there. She pays a $5 to stand on scales. So I said, I'll give you a wee hand. So she was, I'd love to know what you did. And we kind of went from there. And she lost something like 17 pounds in 5 weeks. And she said, that was brilliant. You need to do something with that. And actually, she put a post on Facebook and done the whole tag 99 people in it.
Okay. Yeah.
Without really running it past me, to be honest.
Yeah.
and that, so ended up in the kind of weight loss and fitness business. Business was called Fit as Fork. However,
so by the way, one of the best company names ever, Fit as Fork. I really loved it. I love that branding.
And the clients became forkers, and the testimonials or the case studies were meet the forker.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
You
remember it well. But what we also started doing was kind of 9 o'clock every night was doing a bit of personal development in there. Because your health is not just the number on the scale, far from it. So we started doing a bit of personal development in there. Then that kind of caught fire. That fired me up as well. And I said, right, we had a personal development event in Glasgow. People flew in from London, somebody flew in from Belfast, somebody came from Inverness. It landed very well. Like, this is a thing. We kind of went from there. Then it evolved, as we went along, with the theme of everyone is exactly where they are based on their decisions. So if I can get people to make better decisions in a shorter amount of time, then that's quite a sweet spot to be in. So really, decision day is the kind of catalyst. I like to give people the tools to improve their decision making. If I can improve their decision making, therefore, because your decision making runs through your business, your career, your relationships, your health, not just your relationship with your partner, but your relationships with your parents, with your friends, finances, everything really. Your decision making runs through. So
decisions are not just big decisions either; they're the small ones you make constantly. How do I react to this? What do I eat? You think you're just going through life, but you're just making a ton of different decisions every single day that will affect you. They will.
And you'll know, having been, I know you still use a lot of this stuff, that even though it's been probably maybe 2 years since you did decision day, like even putting off small decisions, that small decision can become a very big thing because you leave it. That's all right. That's a wee thing. I can leave that. I can leave that. I can leave that until it's tapping you on your shoulder, and it's a big one. So sometimes, like, the putting off of decisions can catch you out as well.
That was a massive eye opener for me when we went through the decision day, and I realised that there was something that I had been putting off, and I think you might remember what it was. It was a conversation, and I just realised that it was weighing me down so much. It was so much of an emotional burden that I didn't even realise that I had was stopping me from doing stuff, being me, like being better at business. It was stopping me from being present with my family. Didn't know until that day.
Well, I talk a lot about mental bandwidth. You've only got so much per day, and modern life's pretty crazy. Stuff gets thrown at you constantly. You only need to have a couple of those things knocking about. And if I remember right, it was kind of more around a conversation you were putting off with someone, if that was right. So you probably had that conversation in your head 1,000 times.
Over and over again. Yeah.
So that's taking up a chunk of your bandwidth. Then you're like, what's for dinner tonight? Have I left that? I need to drop that off on the way home. I need to do that for the kids, or the kids get football training. That's bump, narrowing the bandwidth all the time. You only need to have a couple of these conversations or a couple of these decisions you're putting off to really impact, your day and how you're approaching things, and it stacks up. So I can guarantee you, making a conversation real, even if it's an uncomfortable conversation, is much better than having it in your head 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And it really goes the way that all those scenarios that you played out anyway.
Yeah, I love difficult conversations, but I won't dress it up. I love bringing difficult conversations to the surface, but there are definitely still things that I avoid, which are the real conversations that I should be having. I can talk about difficult things all day, every day. I'll talk about menopause, mental health. I'll talk about racism. I will talk about this stuff because it needs to be said. But the thing is, I'm still human.
Oh,
and the real difficult stuff, the decisions that I need to make, are in the background, and that's it's an eye opener.
You're having the conversations that a lot of people are shying away from. So, but also on a personal level, and I'm glad to hear you're a human being, but It's part of the human condition. When we have to look inwards at the
Yeah.
stuff that we need to do, it gets a bit more twitchy. So
Yeah. I'm not perfect, Gordon. Like, I know I appear perfect, but I'm not.
but even the accidental theme runs through, even getting, booked as a speaker and stuff like that. The first
Yeah.
person that phoned me to book me as a speaker, I thought they were trying to sell me a ticket. So I was kind of dry with them, I was like, I'm having this event in Edinburgh. Are you? What is it? You know what I mean? I thought it was a sales. I thought it was a sales call. I think the event was mind, body, and spirit, or something like I can't remember.
No, I remember that. I remember you doing that.
And I was like, all right. And I say, I thought they were trying to sell me a ticket. He's like, no, I want you to be one of the speakers. Oh, that changes things. I'm listening.
Well, here's my rider.
Aye, so, and I think, to use the word, I think I survived that first one, actually. I think that's probably the best word to describe it. I survived it, but strangely enough, that one event got me booking for another 3 events.
Yeah.
Those 3 events got me another couple of bookings, and you've got to have the kind of inner guidance, gut feeling that says, let's run with this.
Yeah.
Let's run with this.
Yeah, totally. So we talk, you talk about knowing your numbers. Now, you're talking to accountants here, and they talk about knowing their numbers all day, every day. But you've got a slightly different perspective on this. So what do you mean?
I think one of the most important roles, and it sounds really, really simple, that accountants can play in any of their clients' life is, first of all, they look at, like, I need to know your numbers in order for me to serve you as an accountant, but to let that people know that they know their numbers and the importance of knowing numbers, because I work with a lot of people that don't actually know their numbers or what that can mean. It's to flip that. Not knowing your numbers is quite dangerous. It's the not knowing the numbers that sees businesses slip away. And every business that kind of slips away or goes under is a potential house sale, is a potential divorce, is a potential cracks in a marriage, is a potential really horrible, dark impact on your mental health, simply by not knowing where you are, what the numbers mean for you. And that is probably, because I've got clients that are accountants, and we had a laugh saying there's no such thing as an accounting emergency. There's no such thing. There's not a 999 for an accountant, is there?
No.
Get me an accountant.
Not on speed dial like a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm sure accountants feel that sometimes their clients think they're just at the end of a phone, but nobody. There's nothing that can't wait till tomorrow. Pretty much, generally.
Unless you're on the last day of self-assessment season and everybody needs your blood.
then it's silly season. That comes with the territory. That's what you sign up for, isn't it? So, but when I'm saying there's no such thing as an accountant emergency, that's not playing it down. It's vitally important because the ramifications in not knowing what's going on are pretty big.
Yeah. And I think you bring in, as I say, bankruptcy, repossession, divorce, you bring in all of these big things, and they are all the things that people need to be making decisions about. Like, what do I do about this? What do I change? How do I react? And these are the big emotional things in life. And I'm just going to throw it in here. Having a good accountant actually can help you. One of the things I talk about a lot is how accountants can add, or how they do add value to their clients' lives, how they have that impact in their clients' lives. And just helping them with that level of information, first of all, is bloody relieving. Relieving, I would say.
Well, you talk about areas of genius. It's good to know, like, listen, that's my expert. That's my go-to person on that. So it's far from my area of genius. Far from it.
Mine too.
But knowing that you've got someone in your corner that you can, even the silly questions. There's no silly questions. If you've got someone in your corner that's got your back on that, that's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, totally. So you are your biggest asset.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
The one thing that runs through every business, accountancy firm, group, one thing that runs through all those clients that you've got in your books is the business owner. And if they're not right, then that runs through everything else as well. So if you're not looking after yourself physically, that would be your physical well-being, your mental well-being, that's going to run through business. If you're not looking after yourself emotionally, the management of your emotions, your acknowledgement of them, you're accepting that some days that you're going to feel a certain way, and that's all right, that's part of the gig. That's going to run through everything. Your connection to your clients, your connection to yourself, your connection to your family, your connection to your environment, that runs through everything. So if you're not, there'll be a direct correlation on how you look after yourself and how that runs through your business, and therefore to your clients. And particularly men that I work with, when I ask them, why do you do it? For my family.
Yeah.
I do it for my family. All right. That's fine. Brilliant. But they're doing 80-hour weeks.
Yeah.
They're always in front of the laptop. They're pushing their kids away because, can we go out and do something? I'm working Sunday. We'll do it on Sunday. Come Sunday, they're fucked. They're knackered. So, do you know what I mean? So, and then women in business who are mums, they tend to put themselves at the very bottom. Everything else has got to get done. They come last. Yet having that person in tip-top form runs through everything. So it's making sure people know that they're the biggest asset, because business unravels pretty quickly if you're not in good form.
We get told this, like as business owners, all the books that we read, all the gurus that we follow, all of this, we get told this. We get told analogies like you should put your life jacket on first. Like you take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of everyone else. And the logic of it is there. Logically, it's fine. Emotionally, how the fucking hell do we do it? How do we do it? Like it's weird to kind of reverse that.
It takes practice. It takes practice, and it goes against natural instincts at times. Historically, men were the privilege. It's changed for the good and for the bad, I suppose, because women now have got so much going on and so much expectation. But historically, men were the provider. They had all that pressure. Women were homemakers and all that sort of stuff. I'm glad that's gone.
Yeah, I'm glad it's gone, but a little part of me kind of also misses it as well, because it was cut and dry and you knew where you were and you didn't have to do it all. And I think at the moment, women feel like to have it all, they need to do it all.
Still got to do it all, even though I think as a society, we're in a much better place with all that stuff. However, there should be no guilt of putting yourself first and looking after yourself, because that's what makes you a good business owner, parent, provider, by looking after yourself. Sometimes feels counterintuitive, and it takes practice, but it is vitally important. So that's why I would always say you're the biggest asset in it all.
So self-care is a massive topic, but what does self-care mean to you? Because putting yourself at the top, what does it mean?
One of the biggest things I do, it becomes a decision then. One of the things that I see people getting really twisted is pushing things into the distance and not being present. So a big thing that I always try and do for myself, and I encourage others to do, is don't delay. I'm going to use the word happiness. It might be too much an all-round word, but people say, I'll be happy when the business is doing X amount of money.
Yeah.
I'll be happy when I meet that person. I'll be
Yeah.
happy when I get that new car. I'll be happy when I get the forever home. I'll be happy when. So no, it's always pushed away.
It
Yeah,
reminds me of the presents that children get for Christmas and that they're not allowed to play with. That's always like blown my mind. Like, why buy something that you can't enjoy?
aye, let kids be kids. So I'll be happy when. If that's always in the distance, you're delaying happiness. Like it's not now. Whereas looking after yourself and doing the things that light you up as often as you can is the thing that leads to the happiness that leads to all those things that you actually want.
Yeah.
So people get it twisted.
Yeah.
That I'll be happy when, whereas concentrating on this today, this week, and doing the things that you really want to do that light you up, doing business the way you want to do it, making the impact wherever you want to make that impact, is the things that actually lead to the business doing X amount of money, to you meeting somebody that you've been waiting on, relationship wise, for the car, the house, and stuff like that. One of the biggest things in self-care is don't be delaying that or pushing that into the future. It's now, it's today, wherever you are and wherever you're at.
I see this a lot with money mindset as well. So people will be like, I will be wealthy, I will make money, I will do this when I've lost weight, I got 100 subscribers, when this, when that, when the other. When actually they could be doing things now that they feel like they can't achieve until something happens. I can't make money unless my nails are done. And I know that sounds really stupid, but
I'm big for that one, to be fair.
well, I thought you might be. But if their nails are not done, they're like panicking because they don't feel like they're worthy enough. So this happens with money mindset. It's quite weird, the barriers that we put in our own way. I mean, I want to lose weight, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to stop me.
It's like just that's one of the big things in self-care is delaying it, pushing it away into the future. It's today.
Today is the day. If we just push into the future for a moment, though, Gordon, just a wee bit,
right?
We've never met face to face.
No, which is crazy, Eric.
I know. I know. But we will be meeting up on the 10th of May.
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to let the audience know, like they haven't figured it out, where we're meeting?
Accountex.
Yeah, we are.
2023 May, London Excel. I think the 10th and 11th.
10th and 11th. I'm not sure what day you're on. I'm on both days actually. So
very good. No, I'm just the 10th. I think I'm 1 o'clock in the main theatre, and it will be about decision making.
Brilliant.
One thing I don't like is to talk at people for 45 minutes. Some of it might stick, some of it, then you can see people trying to stay comfy and stay awake, and where can I lean on? No matter how good the person is delivering. 45 minutes enjoying yourself at something is still a reasonably long time. So I try and make it interactive. So people will be making decisions there and then.
Gives me goosebumps and my butterflies.
People will be making decisions in that room. Now, I say, almost as an opener, that something will change during that 45 minutes. I could say it's life-changing. That's quite ballsy. Perhaps.
But I've seen it in action, Gordon, and I've seen it in action. I've felt it in action. I've seen it in my mum. I've seen it in my clients. I've seen it in friends and like friends and family. Like I've seen it. So I will go as far to say I'm backing you up on that. It's life-changing.
Perhaps for some, and for others, I would
they don't get into it.
Direction changing, I would like to not almost guarantee. The way you think about a few things, I would like to guarantee in that 45 minutes will change. But the reason I can be ballsy enough with that is I get enough feedback after doing them to know with the messages and even months down the line to say something changed.
Yeah.
and here's what's happened. I just thought I'd let you know. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. I went into your decision day based on the fact that you were amazing in Fittest Fork, and I liked you, and I thought, oh yeah, fuck it, I'll give it a go. Basically, that's what I did. I didn't think I had to make any decisions, so I went in with a bit of not of a critic, but with a mind that I'd just go through the day, see how it is. Honestly, it was fabulous. Like, I still benefit from the stuff that I decided to do that day.
And that's my fuel. So my fuel is actually watching and hearing about people's decisions. I don't tell people what to decide to do. That's an internal job for them. What I try and be is the catalyst for their decisions, and then I have the beauty of watching them play out. Whether they're good, bad, or indifferent decisions, at least they made one, so, or a few, more than a few. So Accountex it'll be good. And it's...
So what if people are going to come and they're a bit skeptical is the word, not critic, skeptical. What if they're going to come and sit there and a bit skeptical and are not used to joining in on events like this? Should they still turn up?
Listen, it's not like a put your hands up if this, and or I'll go to this side or I'll go to that. It's not those decisions. Those will be internal things. Okay. So, for example, when I say, right, we're going to make a decision, here's the kind of topic or the theme of it. As soon as I say it, inside, most people go, oh, fuck, it's that one. Do you know what I mean? They know what the decision is, although it'll be a theme. Weirdly enough, I was booked on one in Glasgow, and someone took a picture, like the event photographer took a picture. You can see people were engaged and enjoying it. There's a guy down the front, face like thunder. I mean, I seen that photo, I was like, I don't even know if I can use that photo. That guy is so pissed off that it wastes the photo for it to be used. As that it's obviously clearly no landing with him. He's no impressed. But then about 4 days later on LinkedIn, the guy messaged me and said, well, one of the decisions actually nailed me. He said, I just wanted to let you know, I seen you on Tuesday. This was the Friday, say, and he absolutely nailed me to the point it left me a bit kind of wobbly, and I've had to let it settle. But I've now made the decision. And it was the guy that I thought was having a nightmare. So
I think what you did was trigger him.
You never know. So MD, it looks like they're not enjoying it. I'm just going to say, okay, must be one of the folk.
They'll get back to me later. Don't you worry about
I'm actually nailing it. That's I'll convince myself of. But no, and listen, even though there'll be some big decisions to be made and important ones, you need to have a bit of fun with it as well. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
I like to have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't always need to be heavy duty.
Yeah. So the small decisions add up, the big decisions add up. They are all things that stop you from progressing if you don't do something about them.
Absolutely.
Right. One more question for you, my lovely.
Okay.
You know what it is. So what is the sexiest thing about accountants?
Well, you've killed me, because I would have said knowing your numbers. But we've done that. You've done me. But it would be the importance. The importance of it shouldn't be lost. If you're an accountant having a bad day, it shouldn't be lost. The importance of you letting people know their numbers, and not just know them, but understand them, and understand the danger in not knowing them, and where that can take people without even realizing it. It's important stuff. It's important stuff. And then, just like any profession, you get the good, bad, and the indifferent as well. And it's known, like, listen, I'm going to be one of the ones that make a real difference. I'm going to be the ones that take people with me. I'm going to be the ones that say, listen, I really need to speak to you today because this is important. And and build that two-way thing. rather than just, I'm going to file a set of accounts and tick some boxes. It's the human element of it should never be underestimated.
Massive theme this year you've just hit on, by the way. Like the human, Will Farnell, big accountant in this space, big people, someone to watch. He's just written a book called The Human Firm, Human Practice, right. Human Firm. But the human side of your practice is a massive theme right now, because it's become so tech heavy, so digitized, so impersonal that that's a collective that doesn't exist. Some people have just kind of lost the human element. They've lost the customer service. They've lost the point of doing it. And when you can get both things into the business, that's magical.
That's where the magic happens. When it's numbers meet people, and come on, pop round for lunch. If you're passing, drop in and see me. Know if it's a physical practice. Let's grab lunch together, because there's a couple of things I've noticed that we need to talk about.
Yeah,
that's gold.
Yeah, that's the relationship we're after.
If you're doing that and nobody else, very few are, that's gold. It'll always be about people. It doesn't matter what business or sector you're in. It's always about people. And to go back to the thing about the importance of knowing all this stuff, is that, when the comes on the news, I try not to watch the news, I'm not going to lie, but when it comes on the news, this quarter, so many businesses have went to the wall, record level, or whatever it is, every single one of them is a family under pressure.
Yeah.
Or a kid looking up to their parents and going, what happened? So you don't want to be losing the human element of it and the importance of it. It matters.
That's a really beautiful way of looking at it. I mean, even I kind of forget that, and I think I'm really human-centered. But you're right. Every business that goes under is a family under pressure. Every single one of them. And to be somebody who can offer them some level of comfort, support, advice, knowledge, anything, is actually quite a privileged position.
It is.
It's beautiful.
And catching it early. Don't wait till it's away over there.
Yeah.
And that's the position you hold, and that's the difference you can make. I bet it feels like sometimes when it's a grind that you're not really making a difference, or often perhaps can feel that way. But if you catch something and you catch it early, what's the
recognize it and reward yourself. They don't. So many accountants get lost, as you just said, in the doing. They're doing. They forget to recognize the impact that doing is having on other people. You have to catch it. You have to appreciate what you've done. You have to, because then you start to recognize the strength, and you'll do it more. You'll want to do more because you'll realize that what you're doing is helping people.
It matters.
Yeah, it matters.
And in a weird way, that's one of the basic human needs. Yeah. You've got to feel as that what you do matters.
Yeah.
It matters. That's one of the human needs, to feel significant. I don't mean important. I don't mean social media metrics where, I've got so many followers and that. Who cares? Right. But but you've got to feel what you do matters.
Yeah.
And it's significant. And it does. It does if you're catching it. And if you're making that difference, if you're having those conversations. And who thought we're just talking about numbers?
Yeah. Who'd have thunk that we were just talking about accountants?
That's why accountants are sexy. That was your long answer.
Yeah. They're never straightforward. Apart from one time when I think it was Peter Marlowe, who used to work for Ignition, said that the sexiest thing about accountants is how hard they can party.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you, that's news to me.
Well, this is something that you're going to find out at Accountex.
Well, I'm looking forward to that then. That is definitely news.
Right, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you ever so much, Gordon, for being my guest. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, and I cannot wait to give you a cuddle.
Yes. How many years has that been? 4, 5, 6? I don't know.
4, 5, or 6.
Aye.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We're talking about our numbers. We don't even know.
I'll probably get my accountant to work that out later.
Aye, no, looking forward to it. And if you're game, you'll catch me and we'll make some decisions together. And there's some magic in that as well.
Beautiful. I am going to send out some links alongside this. Where would you like me to link to so people can get in touch with you?
Just the usual social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. All
Whatever
good.
works. I will put some links in. I will have a link in here to get your tickets for Accountex. So if you haven't, then please do make sure you come and see us. I'll be speaking on both days. One of them is going to be on the subject of menopause. So come and check that out, because everybody in the world is affected by menopause. 50% of people go through it directly. And of those 50% of people that go through it directly, half of their life is spent in menopause. So many facts that nobody knows about are going to be talked about and discussed. So come and talk about that. And the other one is about impact. Like we've been talking to Gordon today about your impact. I've got a panel discussion with Rachel Harris, Alison Edwards, and Stuart Hurst. And we're going to be talking about the impact that you have on your clients and the impact that your clients then have on the communities around you. So it's going to be a really interesting topic to come and discuss. So me and Gordon, both days, come and check us out.
Superb.
Gordon, love you. See you soon.
Thank you. Speak to you soon. Cheers, Kelly.